makes me feel better.
Any questions on council meeting minutes of 3/26/26? If not, I'd like to have a motion to accept.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Treasurer's report. Any questions? You got your line items? Well, now, I know we have several issues there on our line items. Obviously, we're working into those. When you see that there are percentages that are over 25-30%, okay, the ones that are high, you pay the year for workman's comp, you pay the year for pest control, you pay the year, those are already paid off. So when you see that they're 104%, that's because workman's comp increased and our health insurance increased and our vehicle insurance has increased. That we didn't know those increases were happening when we were doing budget. Anybody have any questions on what was turned over to them?
Randall, when's the next budget meeting?
19th of May, we'll be going over the first quarter of 26 budget and comparing it to the 25 budget and then seeing where we need to make some changes. Because if you look at what you were given, Councilman Howell, there's some very significant issues here. Because one place we're supposed to have a revenue of $15,000 for the year, we already got $31,000. And in some places we were supposed to have $200,000 worth of income, $292,000 in county sales tax, but we're only supposed to get $15.60 paid year to date. So we got some significant issues. We still need to figure out what's going on and why.
What's the timing on that meeting on the 19th?
2 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll be done by the time, well before time for the council workshop.
Any other questions on treasurer's report? If not, take a motion to accept. Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Any questions on reports submitted? Police, fire, public works?
Does that include that in the building?
No, I,
Okay. I got a question.
go ahead.
How many people are in the paint?
Two full-time, me and Ian, and the other 2 part-time.
2 part-time? Yeah.
Three.
Were you gonna hire anybody else?
I mean, right now we have, Merle, Ian, and 2 part-timers. They want to work part-time. I got them alternating. One works Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then the other works Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they work the next week.
Do you have anybody coming in on the weekend?
Not just the weekend individuals that do the water and the sewer checks for weekend duty. Any questions on those reports? I don't know if you've looked over the other that I added to the EPA meeting that we had last month, and their recommendations. The one that I gave with the photo of the map of the city, aerial photo, that's what Mike and I are working on right now to turn into AEQ and EPA, kind of tell us what we have done, what we are going to do or plan on doing, in order to come in compliance with our sewer system. So that's part of the comprehensive plan that AEQ is requesting. Do you have any questions on any of those? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept those reports as written.
I got one other question.
Sure.
On residential's request for either a full-time or 2 part-times, isn't that right? So we're gonna have to do anything with that?
Yeah.
I'm just,
No, I'm not saying yes. We're gonna have to do something.
I had a question for Brent, again, not to pick on you, Brent. I'm confused about the boat thing again, we're kind of going through that again. Was that put into your budget request?
Well,
Okay,
yeah, we had it budgeted 24, and just because of concern, but that's taken out. So, we raised the money to put it back in, and once we pulled out, more or less, I think it was 25 this year.
okay, so I guess my question was it, did you submit it in your budget request this year?
In this year, I have to go back and look at it. It was requested to spend another full-time position.
Okay, so I guess do you remember handling that specific thing?
No,
I mean, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, I'm just trying to figure out why we're dealing with this again, because I don't remember seeing it as a budget request. And I could be totally wrong, I just don't remember, and if you guys need it, I want you to have it.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember seeing it come through, and so I'm just a bit confused about why it didn't get funded. So,
I mean, again, it's the same as we had requested at the beginning of last year to continue it.
right.
It wasn't put in there just because it was already discussed at some point that we weren't going to be able to fund it. So, again, we will look at fundraising this year and see where we're at. It'll be the same,
Did we not fund it last year?
not last year.
No.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
We got the line item in it for this.
Yeah, that's why I was confused, because I didn't remember seeing it coming across the line item, and then,
It was in 23 and 24.
Okay.
That's when we started paying, when we started charging us for it. And then we've gotten those for the last 20 years for free.
yeah.
Yeah, we just started charging them.
Yeah, they had some issues with the core, requesting that the way it was broken up, they have to pay a certain percentage of the work for each day.
Right, I mean, I kind of remember that debate, and I remember we had offered to pay them a percentage that they had to pay their core, and that was a good number. Do you remember the details, Mike?
Well, I was just gonna ask, didn't you used to do some sort of fundraising initiative for that in the past?
We did. We've not necessarily for the boat stall, because again, that was 23. I think the first year it wasn't necessarily, it was kind of a work in progress when they started charging us. They worked with us, we worked with them, and 23 and 24, we ended up, 24 was actually placed in the budget, and 25 was taken out. 26, whether it was requested or not, it was probably verbal if it wasn't put on my written request. And again, trying to find funds for it. We did have somebody that had come through and made the request for us. We were actually in the process of doing another fundraiser. We used to do Hulu. Yeah, and we did that. That was within the last 2 years that we did that, or the beginning of last year we did that. But the option, we were going to go with another fundraiser. We were looking at a fish fry that was scheduled for station. That was going to be our official fundraiser idea for this year. Right now, the authority has offered to pay it if we can just refund some money. That way we're not on time to screens with making it.
Brent, would the 833 money qualify for that? Since it's the equipment that, we're using?
There is some strict regulation on housing for certain things. I'd have to go back into the paperwork and look. They have restrictions on a few things. It could possibly be, but, their primary concern is to equip the department with stuff, so it's your personal tech equipment, whether it be, jobs, and that stuff was only for the first, past few years, trucks, stuff like that. They do have some, limitations. I know you can pay some utilities, but not much, and there is certain things you have it.
Right.
I haven't looked. I honestly, I've never even considered it, because we usually use that most of the bulk, and we were actually talking about it today. I came in together with that, we're making a quote for two elements. Those age out, same for, are not here,
Do we just need to put this back in the budget as a line item and then to deal with it through the budget process so that this doesn't keep happening?
If it's available, it would be.
I mean, if we put it in, all they can do is say no.
Yeah.
But if it's not there, I mean, that was my confusion, was I didn't remember seeing it as a line item. And I went through and looked at all the paperwork that we did in the budget committee and I still didn't see it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
If we were actually approved to have two full-time positions, we were actually going to have, like I said, in the last meeting, we were going to split shift. We were going to do day shift and evening shift. So when Christian resigned, and everything was kind of changed a little bit, so we're just trying to make sure that we keep those.
okay, so it would be your preference if we put this back in as a line item?
Yeah.
And if it passes out through the budget process, then either it survives or doesn't. But at least if it's a line item that's there, is that?
Looking at the line items I have here in front of me for the entire fire department for the year, it was never given to us as a permanent line item to pay for. So it's not in here, but if it needs to be in here, we need to know by the time we talk on the 19th, so we can make that fix.
And maybe you can even talk to Ricky, okay, I mean, yeah, he has to pay a certain amount to the core for that split. Maybe we can pay that core and he can still supply that split.
Yeah, I remember, I have a vague recollection of it being 10% of the boat slip rental, which would be $2,200. 24, so, you know, that's, if we could get away with paying 10% of that, and that would make the core happy, then that'd be great. But just in general, you're gonna be okay if we just add that as a line item to the...
Yeah, like I said, it used to be at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because I started seeing all this stuff, and everybody was like, oh my God, we don't have a slip to the boat. And I honestly thought we had dealt with that, and that it was kind of over with, so... Okay, never mind, I spent too much time on that, I apologize.
Any other questions on report submitted?
How are the steel tax bills? How are the steel tax bills?
I mean, we're not getting every single day, but, we are working on it. We're fixing the problems that we did find, okay? In fact, he was out there today, contacting 5 of the people that are still in violation, okay? So either we're gonna have to issue a citation to them or get in contact with them. Any other questions? We have a motion, and we have a second for accepting reports.
How's that?
Mike, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next one would be, you guys have any questions on Parks Committee? Now, we'll look for a motion to accept. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Planning and zoning? Any questions for planning and zoning?
Merle or Rick, could you elaborate a little bit on the travel trailer part for me? The issue that we're having with the line
something about 3-inch line,
Which,
near Laura's Mexican kitchen.
the lines aren't, they're not big enough to handle that part. So, I don't know what we can do, on that. Didn't she get grandfather in on something and,
My understanding, there was a lawsuit years ago.
and she won it, so, but the lines they weren't properly installed. And then they plug up all the time, and they back up. So, they're running, 3-inch lines, which should be 4.
Are they, still out? This is the first I've heard of it. I
They-
mean, ADQ should be contacted on it.
I had one of the guys that lived there, that can't, work for me, and I've been out at their place, and they were just spewing out, because it wasn't installed correctly.
I'll make a phone call to ADQ and get them out there ASAP.
That'd be good.
If they're gonna hit us, you might as well do our job on that too. Any other questions? Planning and zoning?
In here it says, we have a very specific definition of travel trailer park, or what they consider, like, you know, Ray, can you possibly elaborate on what were the differences between these travel trailer parks, or?
Well, we do have a definition of a travel trailer park. It needs to be in the C2 zone, which it is. There, to the best of my knowledge, there was never any decision made to how many trailers could be put in there, and they had a lot of cabins that are hooked up to that sewer. I know nothing about the sewer, but there's an awful lot of stuff up there. Somewhere many years ago, something happened, and they just did as they wanted. And now we have a mess of that.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Well, I'll definitely get a hold of ADQ. Looking for a motion to accept planning and zoning and parks. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, next thing on there is a chicken ordinance.
I know you've all been waiting with bated breath for the chicken ordinance. And I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, kick this can just a little bit further down the road. I'm trying to put together a package that I can present, and unfortunately I was unable to get, some of the needed material for it, which I'm getting from a third party called urbanchickens.org. So, I apologize for not having it. I will have it at the next workshop, and I'm going to make up a package for everybody to look through, and I'll include the proposed ordinance, some research about property values that I got from a really surprising source that I didn't think would actually be pro-chicken, but they were. Also what's holding me up is I'm going to provide blueprints for acceptable chicken coops for everybody, so that if they want to put chicken coops in, they'll know what's acceptable and what's not. And then also a list of resources pertaining to such an ordinance. So I apologize for not having it done. I will have it done by the workshop next time, and everybody will get a good look at it. I'll put it up on the city website, and we'll be ready to go with that, hopefully. Start talking about that. And I have to run some stuff through Mr. King to make sure that it's all legit. But I have not forgotten about it. I just unfortunately didn't get the material that I needed. So I'm kicking that can down the road. I'll take full responsibility for doing that, so. Anyway, it's coming. It's, I know you're all excited about it. You can feel the excitement in the room.
Madam Board Chair?
Thank you. One thing I wanted to bring out, Rick had given me, this is a comprehensive plan for the city of Old Shoals. This was, made out June of 2008, and it kind of gives you a breakdown of what our overall comprehensive plan for the city of Shoals is and where we can improve on. But in the summary, in the last paragraph, it says that this comprehensive plan is supposed to be an ongoing thing and should be reviewed every 5 years. So this is the last one that was done in 2008. So it's something that we're going to have to work on as a council, for sure. Try to get it back up to date. Next thing on the agenda is the zone resorts, and council have any comments on that after Monday night's meeting? Now we'll move on. Sign ordinance on Steubenville, any comments on that from council?
Where are we at on that?
The last I talked to him was when he told me that cases were coming in town. And that was 3 weeks ago that he sold the property and it was finalized. And I advised him that when he came in to get his sign permit, he paid for the sign permit. The minimum charge was $15. And lo and behold, they replaced four foot by 8 foot panels on there. He says that was the original size for years. Okay, I never noticed the sign before until the new sign came up, and it's nice and pretty. So the fact is, you take that square footage, and it's 128 square feet. So he came in and paid the additional money, but he only paid for 120 square foot, or 96 square feet, okay? So he still has to pay us for the other square footage. I don't think he has any problem with that.
Isn't there a time limitation, or a size limitation on the sign?
Yeah, there's a size limitation, and he's at that, okay, of 128 square feet. Is that right, Chief?
It's not
Signs are.
May I approach and talk to you about this?
No.
What?
I'd like to, plain and simple, okay?
But I want to know if there's an ordinance that...
There's an ordinance for a sign, okay? There's an ordinance that Mr. Rick Anderson says that it's within 600 feet of another off-site sign, okay, being the caves. You have 3 signs over at Dam Site Boulevard, that 3 signs are within 300 feet of each other, off-site signs. So why are we picking on one individual when we're letting these 3 over here get...
All I asked was, I want to know what the ordinance says. That's all I asked. I wasn't picking on anybody, I wasn't pointing anything out. I would like to know what the ordinance says. That's it.
You have the ordinance with you, Rick?
I certainly do. And I would like to add that it is a city ordinance. Planning and zoning has nothing to do with the sign ordinance. The Board of Adjustment only has authority over holding variances. Otherwise, the sign ordinance is yours. Just to make that clear.
Who approved the downsizing of that sign that got blown over?
The Board of Adjustment is responsible.
Part of the planning and zoning, correct?
No, the Board of Adjustment is different than planning and zoning. But it is a city ordinance. Would you like a copy of it?
And just for the record, the sign doesn't follow the sign ordinance of the 5 different areas. And he was grandfathered in originally. When that sign got remodeled, the grandfathering clause went away. So he had to come before the Board of Adjustment and get a variance if he wants to keep it. But that's up to you guys to decide. I'm just telling you what needs to be done. And one other point is, one of the parts of your ordinance says there are no off-site signs allowed in C1 zones. That's a C1 zone. It shouldn't be there. But you guys can change the codes, change your ordinance, and so desire.
Thank you, Rick, for providing that. Sure. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. It's just that there's ordinance. And, at some point, we gotta start following it, or what's the point of having them? I'm not trying to pick on anybody, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just, there's rules, there's rules. And I just wanted to know what the rules were.
So what's the council want to do about it?
I'd like to hold off on it until we get some more information on it, and if 4 boards were replaced with 50% of the sign and things of that nature, we need to get some more information. I feel like there's some conflicting information that I've gotten, and until we get it sorted out, I'd like to hold off on those.
Yeah, I mean, Danny and I both looked at it, okay, it's got 4 brand new, 4x8 sheets on there, it's got new 2x4s on there, the only thing that was old is the support structures. That needs to be left the old support structures, it's like any other plywood, it deteriorates.
Someone answered your question and agrees with Mike. I think we should all get a copy of this and take a look at it, and then maybe a workshop next time we can talk about it. But there's obviously an ordinance, we just have to understand what it is, and it's about 12 pages long, which I'm not going to read right now. So I would say let's put it in the chicken basket.
Next thing on the agenda is okaying for all the items that the Alvarez family donated that is inside the ALS building.
This has all the images of all the stuff that I photographed down there, ready to go up online. So everything you need is in here. If you have problems, Susan or whoever's going to do this, if you have problems opening any of the files, there's multiple pictures of each thing. If it was something that needed to be rotated so that it made sense, I rotated it around. I photographed the item, and I photographed the serial number plate, if there was a serial number on it, or a model number, or any of that stuff. I did a close-up of the serial number plate. If there's any questions about anything, and it doesn't work the way you need it to, I can go back and rephotograph them. But all the items are on here. They're all numbered so that you know what images go with what. So on this, who I give this to?
I think you give it to me. I would have a question to our city attorney. Can this be Do each one of these items have to be on a piece of paper and passed as a resolution, or whatever's on that flash drive, we can go ahead and auction off?
Don't see why you couldn't do it on mass and say, hey, all these items are this qualification, and here's the list of what they are.
There's gonna be obvious grouping together of things, because like there's a bunch of printers, there's a bunch of monitors, there's a few similar pieces of equipment that would go together that would make sense. Some of the sewing machines need to go with other items that are there.
And so these are any surplus, you can go through that and put all of it in an appendix and just say, hey, here's the index that includes all these items, or is it a,
So as far as tonight, we can, make a motion to go ahead and auction off everything that's on that flash drive, and make a list of what was auctioned off, and put that into the record. Or do we have to have a resolution?
Yeah. Assuming that you all will take this inventory as complete and are satisfied with that, then we could, again, I'm sure we all through the proceeds.
Just so you know what I did, everything in that building that was worth what I deemed to be $50 or more, I took a picture of. There's hundreds and hundreds of empty cardboard boxes that they use to package shotgun shells. I did not photograph them. There were bushel baskets of cords, of computer mouse pads, and nonsense like that. Everything that I thought would be worth about $50 or more, I photographed. And I can let you all know there's 4 or 5 items over there that are worth some money. But other than that, it's all just simple pieces.
And, you know, my question was the fact that this was donated by their individual, it was never really sitting property inventory.
Yeah, kind of not really. It's one of those kind of weird things where the cleanest way to deal with it is to say, hey, we received this couple of items, and consequently, here now we go to surplus and sell them for this amount. Here's the list, and you can aggregate the list.
You just make a list that we sold it for this amount, this was
Yeah.
valuable.
I mean,
Do we need the list first or second?
it would probably be preferable to have a list first, though it's one of those things where, everyone's clear on what items are being sold. That's not a question, right? So if the council has the ability to say, okay, we know what the list is, and we are approving a list of things to be sold, this set of items, the specifics of those items, and the specific serial numbers and everything, y'all can basically have that in after the fact, and that would be too much of an issue, primarily because your intentions are clear. You can to surplus all of those and stuff. So, you want to do that?
Motion to accept this is on my line. For auction.
Here a second? Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And Susan, if you need help figuring anything out, or whoever's going to work on it, just have them call me.
Okay.
Okay, the NIC countersuit, AML coverage needs an additional $3,000. I talked with, Sarah, the attorney, and I tried to pin her down, okay, but, she said that it is in the best interest for the city to go ahead with the coverage of the $3,000. We should be able to get the 2,600 from Pastings, of what, happened out of that 5,000, and so we can go forward. It's just that if, I know it says that it's for defense only, but this is also, she says this is also appealable, that they will cover whatever damages there may be, if there are any.
Second.
Motion to accept and seconded. Any discussion on it?
I would make this conditional on the fact that we give back some of that money from pacing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, you know, if we can get if we get $2,000 or more back from him.
Well, she could be from 2,600.
Right, so that's, yeah, so, but I would make that
Whatever
conditional.
we paid him, okay, minus the 2,400, we should get that.
Okay, then I'm good with that.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next thing on is approval of city employees' job descriptions. Any questions on any of the job descriptions?
I don't want to ask a question, but I want to make a statement and it's directed towards Merle. I'm really glad to see public works guys driving around on mowers with helmets, with hard hats on and vests, reflective vests. It seems like, you know, they're taking their jobs a little bit more serious, or at least their safety a little bit more serious. And that always kind of made me nervous, just to see people using chainsaws and doing all kinds of stuff with no visible safety equipment. So in the job descriptions, I noticed there was mention of some of that stuff. And so just a comment, I'm glad to see that that's being done. So.
Any other questions on job descriptions?
Well, I hate to be a stickler but there's a lot of typos in these stuff. Just wanted to let you know that. It's not that I have any serious questions about it, it's just a lot of typos.
Okay, we'll go through them again, get all the typos correct.
I did notice that there was one job description missing.
Which one?
Councilman. No, I'm serious. There was not a councilman job description. And I don't know, it's an observation.
You're not pleased.
Right.
Okay,
You're right.
fair enough, fair enough.
It's not a real job.
It's all volunteer, right? If there's no other questions, can I have a motion to approve city employee job descriptions, and we'll make all our typos corrected.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Capital improvement plan for sewer infrastructure with ADEQ. I've given you a start of one with the little map on here, and what's going to be, well, we have to clear easements and build access roads for interceptor number 9 from Highway 178 behind the bed and breakfast, Cedar Lodge over there, by McDonald Road, to the back 9 of the old golf course, including 2 main runs from Kingsway Circle, and it's approximately a mile worth, 5,850 feet. Clear easements and build access roads for sewer mains, 1 through 8-2, starting at Carolyn Drive and Dogwood Avenue, including mains on Hillcrest Avenue and Carolyn Avenue. These are just some of the things that Mike and I have come up with, what we have to do to find out where our infiltration is coming in from. One of the things, we've got sewer camera inspection. Obviously, we do need to have a better quality sewer camera. On the back is what we have already done to purchase smoke testing machine. Smoke test mainly populated areas, found 17 cleanouts defects on 4 manholes, 5 cleanouts still need to be repaired by the homeowners. We did dye testing on a pond over at Browns Beach to see if that pond was actually infiltrating into our sewer line going down Browns Beach Road. We're working with the ERG. We are already cameraed from Brown Beach down to Carolyn Avenue. We did find some of the pipe had numerous cracks in it. There were several locations where roots have infiltrated, but not to the point where it's blockage. Okay? But we do have them recorded and where they're located. It's all part of what this group is trying to tell us what our priorities are going to be taken care of first. Along with that is the last meeting that we had last, I think it was 22nd of April, where water technical assistance, EPA, and this group that we're working with, ADQ and ACOM, what they're recommending needs to be done. And I kind of highlighted those sections that are in need of anticipation completion dates. Below will likely all be pushed back due to the discussion below on waiting for the transmission line corridor to be cleared and settling on a scope of work for the field. And I want to kind of gives you the location in the blue map. In the blue section, those are the transmission lines that we can't even get a four-wheeler down because it's so overgrown, and the road that was originally put in there to maintain our sewer lines is gone. Okay, so we have to rebuild that road. And what they recommend was purchasing equipment instead of hiring out to be able to maintain long-term. Potential timeline is to start clearing next month. If the city can get approval from city council at the end of this month, or getting a piece of equipment. So they're recommending what we need to do immediately to try to help solve the problem. Any questions on those?
Go ahead, Joe. The easement down there, how much on either side city easement?
There's 10 foot. There's 5 foot on each side.
So you want to do a road on that, correct?
As best we can, yes.
So on this map, you said the blue represents,
The trouble areas.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
25% of.
Yeah. No other questions? We'll move on.
Well, actually, Mr. Mayor,
Oh,
do we want to discuss this now, or do we want to wait till new business?
well, I mean, it comes back up on the bottom here of our agenda, so
When do you want me to discuss it?
let's wait until the bottom.
Good enough.
On our new business. Let's go with old business. Ordinance 2026-04 up for third reading, and ordinance 2026-04, an ordinance amending the zoning code of the city of Shoals, Arkansas, providing for repeal of conflicting provisions and for other purposes. I have a motion to accept. Motion. All those in favor? Any opposed? New business resolution 2026-R04 to do business with Hot Shot. A resolution authorizing specific individuals or businesses to do business with the city of Shoals. Whereas the city of Shoals has council members, officials, or municipal employees who may have an interest directly or indirectly in the profits of any contract for furnishing supplies, equipment, or services to the city of Shoals. And whereas the city of Shoals can do business with the following. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, Section 1, to vote the City of Shoals under ACA 1442-107 2B1 has enacted an ordinance 2025-07 permitting council members, officials, or municipal employees to do business with the City of Shoals. Section 2, the City Council of the City of Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas hereby authorizes the City of Shoals to conduct business with Merle Fawcett, owner of Hot Shots in the city of Old Shoals. Have a motion to accept. Motion. Here a second. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution 2026 R05, a resolution making the city of Old Shoals Public Works Director a salaried position. Whereas the city of Old Shoals has its position as Public Works Director, and whereas the city recognizes the importance of this position, and whereas this position has been filled by a paid part-time employee seeking to be paid a salary of $20,000, working at least 25 hours a week and no more than 40 hours a week. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that the City of Old Shoals Public Works Director position that is being held presently by Merle Fawcett shall be paid a salary employee with an annual salary of $20,000 while working at least 25 hours a week or more. Have a motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second? Any discussion?
Merle, how many hours have you been working, honestly?
I'm doing my daily.
Yeah. We're getting a bargain here. We are getting a bargain. So, anybody that's got a problem with this, I see him everywhere all the time doing stuff. So,
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 2026 R06, a resolution repealing Resolution 2024 R14, whereas the City of Old Shoals no longer intends to offer the incentive previously provided under 2024-R-14. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that Resolution 2024-R-14 is hereby repealed and such incentives provided for within the resolution shall be discontinued. Have a motion to accept.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 2026 R07, a resolution repealing Resolution 2024 R23, whereas the City of Old Shoals no longer intends to offer the position of administrative assistant previously provided under 2024 R23. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that Resolution 2024 R23 is hereby repealed, and such position and salary provided for within the resolution shall be discontinued. Have a motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
And we got a motion over here. You want a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 2026 R08, a resolution authorizing an increase in water and sewer connection fees and related costs. Whereas it is the responsibility of the City of Old Shoals to operate a municipal utility service, water, sewer in a fiscally responsible manner, and whereas it has been determined that the current City Resolution 2024 R04 needs to be adjusted to reflect what the actual costs are to the City of Old Shoals for water or sewer connections. And whereas the costs associated with the installation of service connection and related items increase, the City Council finds it necessary to initiate cost adjustments as needed by resolution. And now therefore be it resolved by the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that these fees are as follows. Section 1, water connection fees. The following fees shall apply to water connections. A, 3/4 inch meter connection. $1,500 includes, but not limited to, a saddle, 10 feet of pipe, cork stop, meter box, meter setter, ERT lid, meter, main line, tap installation. Same cost for a 3/4 inch yard or garden meter. Price is same for residential or commercial 3/4 inch meter. B, 1 inch meter connections, $1,900, will be charged for both residential and commercial installation. C, meters larger than 1 inch connection, price in effect at time of connection and equal to the cost to the city of Shoals for labor, materials, and equipment. D, all water meter connections shall be performed by the city of Shoals Water Department, including necessary inspections. Section 2, sewer connection fee. The following fees shall apply to sanitary sewer connections. A, sewer connection fee, $1,000. All required labor, materials, and equipment shall be furnished by the customer. All sewer connections must be made by a licensed Arkansas plumber. The plumbing company performing the work must notify the city of Shoals Sewer Department in advance for sewer line location. B, the city of Shoals requires an inspection to be conducted by the city sewer department prior to the covering of a work site. E, it is the responsibility of the property owner or plumber contractor to determine that the lateral line is clear to the city sewer main. Section 3, street crossing for water or sewer. The following fees are hereby established and the street crossing is required to provide water or sewer service. A, street crossings can be done in one of two ways as follows. 1, when the city is required to cut and patch a street that has an asphalt surface older than 10 years, cost will be between $1,200 to $1,500. If the street has new pavement younger than 10 years, the cost will be $2,200 to $2,800. 2, when the resident, contractor, or owner uses boring as method of street crossing, the fee is waived, provided that the boring contractor or method had been approved by the city water department. B, the boring contractor and method must be approved by the city water department before boring begins. Section 4, rock occurrence. The following fees are hereby established in the event rock or a natural occurring obstacle is encountered in order to provide water or sewer service. A, rock occurrence. When rock or other natural occurring obstacles are encountered and must be removed by means of other equipment that the city of Shoals does not provide, the cost to the customer will be equal to the cost of the city of Shoals to remove the rock obstruction. This charge will be in addition to the normal connection fee. Section 5, annual increase. The city of Shoals will increase the above fees on an annual basis each year by 2% on the 1st of January, or what the consumer price index CPI is, whichever is greater. Section 5, repeal. This resolution repeals and replaces and repeals Resolution 2024 R04. May I have a motion to accept? May I have a second? Any discussion?
I got a question.
Yes.
Is that a flat fee, or is that, or you guys tax that?
That's a flat fee.
So like, 3/4 meter connection, $1,500, it's $1,500,
Right.
it's not 15 plus tax.
No, it's 1,500. Any discussion? If not,
If there's already a tap there, this is only for an installation that has no port stop, no nothing.
right, I mean, the only one, yeah, I mean, the only ones that we know of are the Deerfield, that they've already been tapped, okay? When they did the curb service, those are already tapped. So the only thing that those people are paying for is the installation of a meter. Any other questions? If not, we have a motion, we have a second. What's that?
Deerfield, that's still there, I'm sorry.
It's Deerfield. Any other questions? We have a motion, have a second, no more discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution 2026 R09, a resolution authorizing the disposal of specific inventory of the city of Old Shoals. Whereas the city of Old Shoals has those certain items in its inventory which are no longer needed or beneficial to the city of Old Shoals. And whereas it is in the best interest of the city of Old Shoals to dispose of said items, being a 2021 John Deere Model 6120E cab tractor with a brush boom arm unit number 152, serial number 1 P-Paul 06120, P. Edward K. King L. Lincoln 0012341, and a 2000 Heister forklift serial number D. David 177, G. George 9352, R. Robert, model H40XM. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that Section 1, the City of Old Shoals Street and Recycle Departments declare that property inventory described above hereto is surplus property which is no longer affairs within the City of Old Shoals. Section 2, that the mayor of the City of Old Shoals shall be and is hereby authorized to sell, dispose, or set of said items of city inventory which are mentioned above. All said property shall be offered for sale in a commercially reasonable manner, including but not limited to selling said items by advertised sale, by auction bid, or by trade in value. Do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Any discussion?
I got a question. I hate to use that.
No, that's okay.
During the workshop, we didn't talk about the forklift.
We just found out that Department of Labor came in and gave us classes on our bucket truck. First, we had to get our bucket truck inspected, okay, which we didn't know about, okay. I brought it over to Mountain Home while they were inspecting all Energy's bucket trucks. Not Energy, but the Northwest Arkansas Coal-Ops bucket trucks. It cost us $375 to get it inspected. It passed inspection. We had a class here, and we also had 2 other classes, blood-borne pathogens and chemicals, which here for all our employees that are dealing with that. And then she offered, she's also an inspector for the Department of Labor. She also offered to do a courtesy walkthrough to our shop building down there. And, Merle, do you want to take it?
Yeah, we got a little bit of stuff going on. You saw the forklift hydraulic lines, coatings all off of them. It's got no brakes, it's got a wheel falling off of it, and it's got hydraulic weights everywhere. So, she's ready to end.
So basically, it's useless to us right now. So we just found this out after a workshop.
So, given that, 2 questions. Number 1, I know the John Deere with the vertical motor attachment, or whatever you want to call it. You had said at the workshop that you felt that was pretty saleable.
Yeah, it's definitely sellable.
Okay, I mean,
There's a pretty high market for them right now, a lot more than what we paid for.
okay, so, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but like, if we put this thing up for sale next week, I mean, how long is it going to take to sell it?
It depends on where we put it. I've got a call into a John Deere dealer up in Iowa that is interested. But if we go, if they don't do anything with it, then we go to an auction site. I know a couple of auction companies that do very well with selling equipment.
And the forklift, I mean, they're never going to get like $3 for this thing, or?
We could probably get more out of it.
Scrap money.
So how much do you think potentially we're looking at surplus property to go towards our new machine?
The John Deere, I would guess at least 150,000 for it. Right now, they're on the market for anywhere from 170 to 180,000. And that's for older units than what we have with the allowance.
And our tractor is in much better condition than.
Oh, yeah, we had 320 hours on it. The tractors, I mean, it's still got the plastic on the seat. So, yeah, it's phenomenal.
I mean, it'll even sell more, all we have to do is polish it up a little bit. And, I mean, it's gonna polish it real well. You just need to take a soap and water to it.
I was glad for that.
Yeah. It's in good shape. Unfortunately, it only does one job. Any other discussion? Motion to accept. We got a motion on the, and we got a second. Correct? Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Ordinance 2026-05. An ordinance repealing and replacing ordinance 2014-07 regarding residency requirements and ordinance 2024-02 having amendments to 2014-07 for City of Old Shoals police officers. Whereas the City of Old Shoals desires to have its full-time salaried police officers to live within the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, and whereas the City Council has determined that a city residency requirement for Old Shoals police officers will be a benefit to the officers and to the Old Shoals community. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, Section 1, full-time salaried Old Shoals police officers are to live within the city limits before the end of 60 days from the date of hire. Section 2, realizing that part-time and auxiliary law enforcement officers could be future full-time officers of the city. Such officers may live within Marion or Baxter County while in part-time or auxiliary status. Section 3, Chapter 2.28- or .07, Ordinance 2006-01 of the Old Shoals Municipal Code, along with Ordinance 2014-07 and Ordinance 2024-02 is hereby repealed, and any other ordinance, resolution, policy, writing, or parts thereof which may be direct conflict with this ordinance are also repealed. Section 4, City of Old Shoals Resolution 2024-R-14 is hereby repealed. Section 5, if any part of this ordinance is declared invalid or unconstitutional for any reason, such declaration shall not be held to invalidate or impair the validity, force, or effect of any other part of this ordinance. Section 6, Emergency Clause. This ordinance being necessary to continue the operation of the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, is in compliance with the laws of the state of Arkansas, and to preserve the public peace, safety, and welfare, an emergency is hereby declared, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon the date of its passage and approval. Full-time salaried police officers of the city who are not presently in compliance with this ordinance shall have 60 days from the date of passage to comply. Do I have a motion to accept? Motion. Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion?
I want to start off by saying I agree your full-time needs to be in city limits. That's important. I have a bit of an issue with the days. It's 2026 and people have lives and children and routes and things that they have to take care of, including housing, moving kids out of school. And I feel 60 days limits us on people that we could possibly have in the hiring that we have in the city. 2 months, I believe, and it's already late. So I just don't feel that's enough time to expect somebody to uproot their life and move here for a job.
I think we could extend that in some manner. I'm open to a longer time frame, but 2 months to uproot your life to get here to be a full-time officer in Shoals seems a bit accelerated to me.
Well, what would you want, 90 days? 6 months? I mean, either 7 you like.
I think 6 months would be more appropriate. You know, when you talk about housing alone.
I'm not debating, I'm just trying to, what I'd like to do, I think, is let's put a number on it, go ahead and fix this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would be happy with 6 months. That could be, in my opinion, ample time to handle affairs, if they need to put a house on for sale, if they need to move. So there's a lot of costs involved with uprooting your life.
Well, I agree with you, I don't know, I'd be willing to go with 6 months, I don't know about the rest of the council, if you guys accept it. So why don't we change the date on that to 6 months, and let's go ahead.
Okay, cross out the 0 of days and put months.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? I look for a motion to suspend the rules to read the second and third ordinance number 2026-05 by title only.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? And this is emergency clause, so the second reading by title only on ordinance number 2026-05, an ordinance repealing and replacing ordinance 2014-07 regarding residency requirements, and ordinance 2024-02 having amendments to 2014-07 for City of Shoals police officers. Have a motion to accept. All those in favor? Any opposed? Third reading ordinance number 2026-05, emergency, or as an emergency clause, an ordinance repealing and replacing ordinance 2024-07 regarding residency requirements and ordinance 2024-02 having amendments to 2014-07 for City of Shoals police officers. Have a motion to accept?
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you for
All right, next thing is talking about purchasing the Macalak piece of equipment if the John Deere tractor is sold or traded in. We have some discussion on this.
How much did we say this initial unit was about?
120. Oh, how much did it cost?
Yeah.
137 for that 2,000-hour one.
That comes to a total of $151,000 coming back.
I don't know if anybody gets it.
Here's what it looks like. Pretty cool.
It does, the thing about this piece of equipment is it does 4 jobs, okay? One, it has, it comes with it, different buckets. We got 18-inch and a 24-inch, 14-inch and 18-inch bucket. And then it's got another bucket that strictly is a curved bucket that does ditches. Okay, you've seen them out there on the state highway where they actually make a smooth ditch. That comes with it. And it has its own plow in the front, and it's got stabilizers to stabilize It also has, it'll actually dig itself underneath. Okay, it's an impressive machine. It's made in Germany. They have put it into the United States market several years ago, and it has done very well. So now they have other dealerships already in the United States. So there's where we can get repairs done. The other thing it does have is instead of have what the John Deere has, it's got the bush hog that the blades are exposed. This one has a grinder box where as we've seen where these guys have done with just a skid steer and their attachment to it, and it grinds up everything that's in front of them as far as wood chips. This does the same thing, so it's not throwing limbs out there in the highway or, that and such, and endangering us, ourselves, our employees, or the community itself. Overall, Merle has been very impressed with the machine, and I think it's going to be a definite benefit for our city.
Clear some of this area, is that right?
Yes, the sooner we can get it, the sooner we can get these right-of-ways done. We have to get the equipment in there to scope our transmission lines. And this is a piece of equipment that would do it. So instead of spending $4,000 or $5,000 a month to have a piece of equipment brought in, and we got 2 operators that work for the city that can run that equipment, or we hire a contractor out, and I don't know what it's going to cost us. I do have contacts, but I know it's going to be more than $4,000 a month.
I see it says or traded in. Would we be doing a trade with the company?
No, they won't do that. Okay, they deal just with that equipment. But I took that in just in case there was someone else that would buy or trade it out. I just kind of put it in there.
Maybe we should get 3 bids instead of just buying those tractors from them.
This is a company that normally deals with it, so you could get 3 bids from 3 companies of neck black, okay, but they're all going to give you the same price.
Yeah. I'm talking directly, not talking to any of the, I'm talking directly with the bank.
If I want to buy a car, if I go to Mount Home, that I can go to Little Rock and get it for $10,000 cheaper, I'm going to buy it down there.
Right. This company doesn't do that. We're dealing with a top guy here. For this machinery, we're at the top level right now.
Machine costs what new?
The machine cost brand new, okay, is $188,000, and that gives you a 2-year warranty. Okay, these machines, this one has 2,000 hours on it, it's in perfect condition. Germans built a good piece of equipment.
I'm looking to see if anyone out here has rocks. Because, we're joking about kicking the can down the road with the chicken ordinance. And we can sit here and use the words, if the John Deere tractor sells. That's going to be July, August, September, October, and we have not made any progress on our sewer issues. My thing is right now, the sewer depreciation account is now $161,397.44. Let's order the damn piece of equipment and make progress like we need to instead of keep kicking stuff down the road.
How accurate are those numbers you just threw out there?
Very. So that's my motion.
We quit kicking the cans and we find this tractor and get her done. I second the motion.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Are we motioning on if we,
By the,
we're listening right now, is buy it outright?
What's the difference between the used one and a new one? The price.
About 50,000.
And you get a brand new one with 2-year warranty.
Motion's been put, seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
No.
3 opposed? Is that right? Voice vote? Roll call, do a roll call.
Councilman Henderson?
No.
Councilman Webb?
Yes.
Councilman Mankey?
Yes.
Councilman Rowland?
Yes.
Councilman Green?
No.
Councilman Howe?
We have a tie vote, and I vote yes. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is purchase of a remote sewer camera with 500 feet of cable. I believe I gave you what the 2 cameras we came up with. One was from, it's even in Chinese. Okay. The other one is, actually the dealership is right here in Texas, below us. And it's, as you can see, I don't know if you got pictures of it or not. Yeah. It's a crawler camera. I don't know if you want to pass it down. I think this is something that we could probably wait on for next month, bring it up, depending on how, we're gonna have to clear those lines before we do the camera work. So if we can get heads up on clearing those lines, transmission lines with this piece of equipment that we're gonna end up buying Nicolette. It might be a month or 2, but we're gonna need some sort of camera to camera it and find out where our problems are. So the camera that we have right now is a push camera, and it only goes to, I think, 150 feet. This one goes 500 feet, so it goes from manhole to manhole. It's just something that I think we're going to need to look at down the road. What's the cost on that? That one there. But if we end up getting down here, so we put that back in our capital improvement depreciation fund. We can have some money to pull from to take care of our sewer problems and identifying where we're at.
Can I say something? I think that we've got time in the camera because we've got to get that other piece of equipment in here so we clear the right way before we can use the camera. So we've got some time to wait. If the council wants to do that, we can go ahead and approve buying it, but I'd say we're probably going to have to wait 30, 60 days before we get that done here, so.
And they go quicker, but I don't know. I agree.
Well, if we do that, we buy it next month, we'll probably have the right of way cleared that quick anyway.
I'll move pretty quick.
Well, anyway, that's just a suggestion, what we got to do, if we want to postpone the camera purchase for a month or so, and let's see where we're at.
Yeah, seeing as we just spent $171,000 to try to clear, no, we probably have to go off on 25.
Okay, citizens' comments?
Hi, my name is Pat Curtis, and I live 201 Mountain Vista. And I just have one question.
During my time.
I have one question. When this desk was our mayor, there was a vote that will show that Bel Arco could not be apartments, and it passed. There was a petition wrote up about Bel Arco, and I don't know what happened. Why are the citizens' voices not being heard? Someone please answer.
Bel Arco is a resort.
It's a resort, it's not apartments.
Yes, ma'am, it is a resort.
Okay. And why are they really not apartments?
You're misinformed.
No, I'm not.
To some extent you are.
Okay.
Were you at the meeting the other night?
Excuse me?
Were you at the meeting?
No, I didn't know that.
A lot of you telling you that meeting. What? Five owners of L.I.
Mr. Mayor, could you please answer that for me?
They are a resort, they've been running as a resort, and they continue to be a resort. I gotta take them at his word. I do not have, and nobody has brought forward any evidence that they are not running as a resort.
Okay. Well, no, that's not correct. But it's okay. I got my answer. I don't know why I'm coming to the meeting, because I don't feel like I'm heard at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marky Garner, page 35. Bel Arco, our friend now, as a park. I know somebody in that person is renting as an apartment. So what are you going to say about that? You guys are supposed to follow the rules, the regulations. They send out letters and find them for not following the rules. And if you guys ain't doing it, then we need to find somebody else up there who can do it. So I got regulations, you should follow it.
Right, can I ask you a question?
That's all you want.
You have a trailer in front of your house that you're renting out to an individual that is hooked up to our
I'm not
sewer
sure
system.
that's Roland's labor, and we would do that on the table. It's not renting. Having got no money out of it.
It's still hooked up to our sewer system.
No, it's
It's a
not.
violation.
No, it's not. You can come out there and look, I'll take you right now. Prove me wrong, okay? There's no sewers and not even electric to it right now. So don't come on me like that, because I'm telling you the truth. You need one of you, I'm gonna check it out. I'll welcome you, come on, right now.
Bring me proof that he signed it.
I don't have to bring the proof.
Well,
I'm telling you the truth, but I'll call. If you want someone up there next month, I'll probably get them up there.
bring me,
I know for a fact.
bring me proof that they signed a lease.
All right, I'll figure it out.
Then we can.
You guys
do it like
do
this.
your
You
job.
don't have any proof that they are not running as a resort.
I got a friend of mine who's looking at rent from them right now, as an apartment.
Bring me proof on paper that they are doing
Well,
that.
these women prove that they ain't. Now, if you want to do that, no proof, you just bring me proof too. I'm welcoming you, any of you, come out of my house and look at my trailer top there. They ain't hooked up to nothing, it's just sitting there.
Nobody's ordering that?
Thank you.
Yeah, Curtis, 201 out there, sir. Question to you first. In the city, when an ordinance is passed by the council, who enforces it? If it's been, police do.
The city requires it.
There, the city, say that a little bit louder so everybody can hear that.
Again, the city is required to enforce the law.
I've lived in this town for 52 years now. I've seen this happen so much it ain't funny. From past administration, when my father was a councilman, you guys pass ordinances, you say you gotta do it, you gotta pay attention to it. From sign ordinances, to resorts, to C1, C2, and you pick and choose who's gonna be a winner and who's gonna be a loser. You're not following your rules that you made. And it's making a lot of citizens here really, really mad. And if we decide we don't want to pay attention to one of your ordinances, I'm sure I'll be the first one that you'll be calling the police over there to come get me. It's just like that piece of equipment. You're talking about kicking a can down the road. You're buying a used piece of equipment that you said had 2,000 hours on it. 2,000 hours on it. When for just a little bit of money more than that other piece of equipment sold, you could have got one with a 2-year warranty on it, bright spanking new, with no hours.
Amen.
So I'm sorry, guys. You think you are going to get down to something. I'll give you that. With another, you're just failing us. And as far as I'm concerned, that piece of equipment, you could have waited maybe 30 or 60 more days and got a brand new one with a warranty. But you're already spending that money on a camera now. Come on, guys. Let's get a little bit smarter about this. And like I say, I've lived in this town for 51 years now. I've got a 46-acre piece of property that I'm really seriously thinking, I'd love to live out there and not put up with this stuff. Because I go to the meetings, I tell you what I feel, I call the councilman, I talk with the mayor, and you're just not doing what the majority of the people in this city want done. You need to start following your rules that you make. Thank you.
I'd like to kind of add something to that. First of all, thank you for getting up and speaking your mind. We had a meeting on Monday, and it was an emergency meeting, and it was expressly stated that the citizens weren't going to have a chance to talk, and that bothered me. And I wrote to the group that got the email, which was everybody, and I voiced my opinion about that, and I wanted to make sure that no votes would be taken at that meeting, because I don't think that's fair. And I went to the meeting, and I was pretty disappointed in the meeting. I don't think anything got resolved. If anything, it was this an hour and a half of my life that I won't get back. And that was kind of discouraging. And I think everybody here knows that I've pretty much tried to be a team player and tried to get on the page with everybody and move things along and get things done in this town. But when the mayor just expressly says in a meeting that we're not going to enforce an ordinance, we're not going to send out letters, and we're not going to send out fines or, whatever you want to call it. I thought that was our job to decide that. I thought that's what the council did. And I was pretty much told at that meeting that that's not what the council does, that the mayor can just say, hey, you're not going to get a citation. And I just don't think that's right. I've been sitting up here for almost a year and a half trying to do what's right, trying to do what you guys want me to do, because you guys are the ones that voted me in here. And, we flipped the entire council, except for one person. And so that meant that they wanted something different. And when I'm told in a meeting that, don't worry about it, you're not going to get a citation, that's not right. And I don't think it's right. I agree with Tim. There are petitions that have been going around, and I'm not saying petitions are laws or ordinances or anything. They're opinions, but they shouldn't just be ignored.
Right.
And I just feel that we've entered into some strange time in the city where it just doesn't seem to matter. And, but I mean, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't we the ones that are supposed to enforce this stuff?
I'll speak to that, Kim. That's the question. It's been about 9-10 months ago when the chairman of the planning and zoning came up and asked for some direction on how to do it. Again, none of us are zoning experts, we're people.
So I'm gonna give him some direction right now. I'm directing him, and I hope he can get some council approval for this, to bring everything before the council. Stop sending letters, stop threatening fines, stop threatening everything. The council is the last person. Planning and zoning can only advise the council. I think that has gotten a little bit out of control. I do. And I think the council should make that decision. I completely agree with you.
Right, so-
About that. So, but I'm just saying, they should cease and desist sending nasty letters, threatening, people who work here in some ways, and let the council decide this. 100%. Thank you. I agree with you, Kevin.
Have they sent any letters that we haven't approved?
We started out with the first letter, and we need a second letter, third letter, so I'm just saying, maybe we did, but now I'm just saying, we should cease and desist that.
So what's the answer to the question I just asked?
Okay, go ahead, ask it.
Have they sent any letters that we have not approved?
I think we kind of are, yes. I would say yes to that. Well, did we vote on them, Kevin? Did we vote on every letter that they sent?
Yes.
Yeah, no, we did not.
That was my question.
We did not.
Okay, if we didn't, then, everybody wants people to bring forth proof of things. I just feel like, when I'm told that, basically I'm told that, I'm not part of the enforcement, or I'm not part of deciding what's gonna happen, then what am I doing here? What am I doing here?
Okay, here, let me speak that, Kevin. I don't think planning and zoning can tell the mayor or tell the police chief what to do. And they have.
I don't feel like planning and zoning is telling me anything other than giving me recommendations on what they think should happen.
Kevin, that's not what I said. I said the planning and zoning chairman has told members of this that are here tonight what to do and what not to do. Specifically, like fire this person, do this to that other person. They have. They just haven't.
They haven't done that to me.
I didn't
They
say
haven't
that.
said it to the council. I'm talking about my experience here. I'm not talking about fire department or police chief or anything else. I'm talking about my job. I come here every time and I sit here and I listen and I vote and I get recommendations from committees that are much more educated than I am. The sewer, all that stuff. I get recommendations from them, which is what I'm supposed to do, and then I take a vote, and then I expect that is going to happen. And then when I'm told that, oh, don't worry about it, you're not going to get a citation, I don't get that. I just don't get it. I'm not trying to be difficult, I'm trying to understand what my role is here. What am I supposed to be doing? Because I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, which was listening to the citizens of Shoals and trying to implement what they want implemented.
Okay, let me ask you this. What have you done to figure out if they deserve a citation or not? You personally, what have you done?
I went and sat over near Bel Arco one day for 4 hours and just kind of observed what was going on. That was one thing I did. I've talked to planning and zoning. That's another thing I did. I've talked to a lot of people that live around Bel Arco. I've made an effort to go over and talk to the residents over there. That's what I've done.
Can you prove that they're operating as an apartment?
We're going to get into the semantics game about what's an apartment, what's not an apartment. When people move in with their furniture, it's an apartment. I've never taken my couch on vacation. Okay, it's just common sense. We can get mired in this whole thing about what does the word "it" mean, and what does this mean, and what does that mean. Common sense is you don't take furniture and plant a garden when you're at a resort. Period.
I think they can explain that activity if you feel like that.
Citizens comment on more.
Thank you all. Two things. One, when we have property rights, they don't go away because a group of people gets mad and hurt. Those property rights are property rights. They're vested. So as property rights exist, we can't just decide we don't like them and then vote them away. Not even vote them away. Just have a group of people mad about them. And so I appreciate the slowness. I don't want to make that fix, let's talk about it. I don't know what to do to fix this process, but I do know that if somebody was in here trying to take away your property rights, y'all be like, what the heck are you doing? Why would you allow a group of 56 people to take your property rights? You wouldn't. And you wouldn't let them take your neighbor's property rights at home. You would all say, gosh, don't take my neighbor's rights either because you're going to take mine next. And so as we continue down this path, the mayor is the first person in this community that said, hey, let's try something different. Let's try to have a public meeting where there isn't threat of penalty, which there has been every day since we got here. You're going to wag your head. You're going to wag your head. Yeah, absolutely. You guys have resorts to show up in this town. The mayor finally had a meeting where some resorts did show up because there wasn't a threat of penalty. So we could have an open, honest conversation. So that hopefully we can have another conversation and another conversation. We can all get on the same page. But instead of that, you're calling the short circuit of process where a community can learn and be together, figure things out together, recognize, well, those are property rights. Let's not take them. Let's figure some other things out. And you want the threat of penalty. It's nonsensical. And for you to immediately in the same meeting say that black and white rules matter, and then they don't matter, common sense matters, I think it proves the point. On some issues that you like, the black and white supports them and all right. On some issues you don't like, the black and white doesn't support it, and you want common sense to support it.
I believe the black and white does support it.
Then let's have that next meeting.
I've been to every single meeting that has been called with the resort. And there is, and in the first meetings, there was no talk of any threats of anything. They were just meetings where we just wanted people to come. That's all we asked.
If you're referring to the letter that said come to a meeting, there was a threat in the letter. It said stop all operations until you prove to us that you're not operating against some rule that wasn't clearly defined. If we stopped right now today and we said, hey council, are we all in agreement? Just as the council on this issue, y'all don't have agreement. So if you all don't have agreement, how are you going to send a ticket to the court that says, hey, we all agree? You don't. And I'm trying, the mayor's trying, multiple council members are trying to say, let's get to that agreement space. I don't know what the issue is that has to be done today. I've heard people say this is the same issue we've been working on for 50 years in this community. Maybe there's a reason it's been a 50-year issue. Maybe it's not as clear-cut as you think it is. Maybe there's some other nuanced pieces in there that we have to flush out together. And I'm willing to do that. I'm not willing to do it under threat. I am willing to do it open. And that's why we came to the meeting with Mayor Paul, to actually try to solve a problem, not just keep ratcheting up.
Next.
Dan Floyd, mine's not quite as intense as all the rest of you guys. I noticed we had a couch and a chair over here on Carolyn for almost a year now. My wife saw it online, and I'm like, well, let's see if we can get somebody to do something, haul that off. Well, it's been there almost a year. Maybe we should see if we can find out somebody to get free upholstery. I'd keep somebody on the But my thing is, we requested that somebody in town responsible for hauling that stuff out of there. You know, if I was able to, I'd already done it myself. But if I'm not, the town can do something to get that stuff off that street. It's not that big a deal. A couple of you guys don't help me move to get it right now. Or let's get 3 or 4 so people talking about it instead of
Okay, so just to go on the basis there, I want to ask this council So, when did you make a vote to have minors and stop enforcement? No. You didn't have to do that.
Talk in your mind.
That doesn't work.
Okay. Slow it down.
When have you guys ever made a vote to stop planning zoning from good enforcement? And let me tell you something. In our codes, enforcement is part of our duties. We are not doing anything that's wrong. We have kept you informed of everything we've been doing. And all of a sudden, the mayor made an arbitrary decision to stop something. When are you guys gonna stand up to this and do something about it? Do you know the ramifications of what you're gonna allow them to do? You've got two other people that have citations now for the very same thing. They're going to court. And what are you gonna tell them? Because I don't tell them anything. You guys can. Deal with it. We have to deal with it now. There's no excuse for you to turn that citation away. I asked it just so it wasn't on my shoulders that I didn't ask. I'm cool with that. You guys, it's in your hands. Deal with it.
In response,
Just out of curiosity, isn't it true that in Arkansas, 183 days is considered residency? Isn't that true? Isn't it 6 months? Yes.
For residency purposes,
Yes.
determine if you are a resident of the state.
Yes.
Sure.
There you go. There's been somebody living at Bowerton for 2 years. Don't tell me there's been somebody living there. Thank you.
Also, residency is also based upon where one resides and where one has property and an intention to reside there. There's more to it than just being in a place.
any more citizens' comments? Mayor's comments. First of all,
Jay was 905 hindsight. I tell you, Bellarco saved my butt. I had no place to go. The cabin ports were kind enough to give me some work and a place to stay. I don't think anybody plans on moving into the Bellarco permanently. It was very transition. And from what I've seen, since I've worked there, everybody that's been there is in a transition to go somewhere. We're all in a transition to go somewhere, right?
I'm here to stay.
Well, the thing is I'm grateful. I'm grateful you're here to stay. I'm here to stay too. We all need some place to stay, don't we?
We got plenty of rental places around here.
We sure do. And you can rent a room at the Bellarco.
You can rent a room, but you can't live there permanently as an
No
apartment.
arguing, he has citizens' comments.
So, I mean, honestly, the Bellarco is serving a purpose to the community by giving people a chance to settle, to come here, to find their residence.
And that's what I did. I didn't want to live in Bellarco. I don't know anybody that wants to permanently live in Bellarco. This guy, a guy who's been there on and off for 2 years. Now I know for a fact he was gone 2 weeks this month. Was he living there? Living in a clean place? Didn't come back. He sure did. You know what? It's transitional housing. We all need someplace to go. Bellarco is serving a need in this community. Why are we stubborn? Why are we hampering? You guys, I'm sorry. The city is doing the Bellarco a great disservice by trying to tell that man how to run his business. Okay, what are we going to do next? We're going to tell the bowling alley how many lanes they can have on Friday night? Are we going to tell colonies what they can serve? Business is how to run their business. And all they want to do is survive and have a good business. What's wrong with it? Why are we hampering their business? You guys have said it. One room rents as a resort, they're a resort, right? I Put it this way, they've got a bunch of rooms rented as resorts. Need a place to stay. Let's get a place for transitional housing at this time of needs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vicky Anderson, 231 Kingsbury Drive. It's been 10 months of all of this nonsense going on. I wrote my opinion of what setting the record straight is about what's been going on. It has a lot to do with backdoor meetings and things that have gone on. Planning and zoning has offered Bel Arco to do temporary use permits so that the citizens could relax and know that if somebody's going to live there, maybe there's a year-end date to that, so that everybody can relax and know they're not there forever. If they needed the financial income as part of their developing their, remodeling and everything, that made the most sense to have them be issued a conditional use permit so that they could have people long-term with an end date that could be negotiated again. And time again, for 10 months, they refused to come and even show up and discuss it. Now they're talking open-ended monthly agreements again, which are the same as leases. It reminds everybody of how the 1050 was taken over. Right now, Lakeside Dreams there's not even a landlord there. Somebody flushes their toilet and it comes up into the next person's shower. It's a pigsty. And they get allowed. Yes, I mean, there are people here that have a court date for that, and these things evolve if we don't put a check and a balance on it. And I don't see what the problem is. If you want to make the neighborhood feel comfortable about what's going on there, then you just circle back to the original agreement that the P&Z offered them, and that was temporary use permits. Why would somebody not want to do that? Why would somebody, refuse to do that, refuse to show up? I'm going to send all of you this document when I get home, because there's a lot more to this story than just P&Z trying to pick on somebody. And it could have been solved a long time ago, but now this animosity is built up in our neighborhood, and you're just going to give them a pass, and that's not right. They need to, I don't think they've ever come and talked in a productive discussion about those use permits. It was a perfect thing. P&Z tried over and over to find a solution for them so that they could have money coming in while they're developing their place. And all this stuff about, from the very beginning, people like Russ, when he couldn't get his way with Rick, then he starts saying things like, oh, Rick is staring out his window counting cars in the parking lot. And all these rumors started spreading. They tried to make it look like it was
You're quoting me now?
Yes, I am. I was there. I heard you and you said it here.
Quit attacking.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that P&Z has been attacked, too. And it's been a back and forth thing that shouldn't have taken 10 months to finally, have a crescendo so that something could be done. It's not P&Z that said, oh, we're not going to give you any tools. They gave them tools. They refused to come forward. So I don't know why you don't understand that the neighborhood is really upset now. And they didn't really have to have a citation at all. They had plenty of chances over the 10 months to come forward. And that's all I have to say.
Any more citizens' comments? Mayor's comments? For one, there were two resorts that are in violation of our resort ordinance. One is Lakeside Green. We have evidence to bring to court to justify the citation that was issued to them. The other one, we have evidence that this individual had a resident for 2 years And she asked if we could do anything to help her collect her $4,000 for the 2 years this person was staying there. So I have evidence of that citation to testify in court. I do not have any evidence whatsoever on the Bel Arco in violation of being, or not being a resort. So that's why when Rick demanded from our police chief that a citation be issued.
I did not.
Without coming to me
That's wrong.
first.
That's wrong.
Didn't I just ask you, did I demand you to do something, Officer Beck?
You asked that the citation be given.
They told the story, right?
And a citation be given. You have no authority to go over my head.
Then
You never came in to ask me to have that citation issued. And I told you, okay, after that there is not enough evidence to issue a citation. Just like a prosecuting attorney has to have evidence to prosecute anybody for a violation or criminal violation.
Then why did you tell me that when I sent a letter for 15 days, you said I couldn't do that because we gave all the other resorts 30 days?
You want to be consistent, okay? If you're going to turn around and give a letter for 30 days to other resorts, you have to do it to everybody.
And it was a
Not
letter.
change it because
It was a letter
Why?
about a citation if he didn't come up forward with it, and you knew exactly what that letter said. Don't tell me that.
the fact is, there's not enough evidence to issue a citation. Until you can come up with evidence for that, we're not going to issue a citation. There, have a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. All those in favor?